Hi friends, welcome back to the Orash YouTube channel. In today's video, I will compare Adobe Photoshop sharpening techniques with Topaz Sharpen AI software by Topaz Labs. So we will see which software is better when it comes to sharpening the images. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, I have this image open in Adobe Photoshop, and if I zoom in into this image, holding down the control and space and dragging on my left mouse button, you can see it's a pretty much blurry image. And if I press Ctrl 0 to zoom to fit and go to image menu and click image size, you can see the dimensions of this image 570 by 320. So it's a pretty much low resolution image, and to see it on its actual size, all you have to do is hold down Ctrl Alt and tap the 0 key on your numpad, and that will show the actual size of the image. So now try to sharpen this image on the actual zoom. So I will go to the filter menu, go to sharpen and click unsharp mask, and let's see how good Photoshop can make this image and how well it can sharpen this. So we can play with these three sliders: amount, radius and threshold. I need to bring down the threshold towards almost 10 and change the radius to I think 3.6 is okay, and for the amount I think this is 75 is okay. Okay, I will click now on the OK button. So here was the before and here's the after. Well, Photoshop did sharpen it, but if I zoom in, you can see it's still blurry. Okay, let's try the second method. I will press F12, which will revert the image and make it appear like the way when we opened it. Now let's try the second method in Adobe Photoshop. I will go to the filter menu once again, go to sharpen, and this time I will choose smart sharpen. Let's see how smart is the smart sharpen inside Adobe Photoshop. The preview looks good. Let's try to play with these sliders. The amount says 490%. That's too much high. 500%. And if we try to increase, decrease the slider, this is doing pretty much good job. Let's try to play with the radius slider. Don't go too far, as this will just ruin the whole image. I think 1.7 is good enough here. So let's reduce the noise a little bit. And we also have some advanced settings like to play with shadows, tonal width and radius as well. Same goes for the highlights, but I will just click OK. So here was the before and this is the after. Well, the smart sharpen did better than the unsharp mask, but let's see what else we can do. So I will just tap the F12 key once again to revert the image, or you can go to the file menu and from there click revert, or you can simply undo by pressing Ctrl Z. Anyway, let's press Ctrl Alt 0 once again to zoom to fit, and this time I'm gonna apply the third method of sharpening inside Adobe Photoshop, which is high pass. And I will press Ctrl J to duplicate the current layer, and with the top layer selected, I will go to the filter menu, and from there I will go to the other and choose high pass. Hit OK and change the layer blending mode to overlay. So this was the before and this is after. Well, this appeared to be working better than the last two commands, the unsharp mask and the smart sharpen. So let's try the fourth and final method here inside of Adobe Photoshop. I will go to the filter and select camera raw filter this time. Camera raw filter opens up, and I will click the detail tab and increase the sharpening slider all the way towards the right side. I will increase the noise reduction slider a little bit and color noise reduction slider as well. Hit OK. So here's the after, and here's the before, here's the after. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see this is also a better method of sharpening images. So that's about Photoshop for now. Now I will switch to the Topaz Sharpen AI, which uses AI, meaning artificial technology, to sharpen the images. Let's see how good it is. I will open up the Topaz Sharpen AI software and click Browse Images. And from the desktop where I have saved this image, I will open the very same image. Okay, on the left side, you can see the original image, the blurred image, and on the right side, you can see the sharpened version using the Topaz Sharpen AI software. And we have some presets to choose from, and we call them models inside Topaz Sharpen AI. And we have a good list to choose from, like motion blur normal, motion blur very noisy, and motion blur very blurry, out of focus normal, out of focus very noisy, out of focus very blurry, too soft normal, too soft very noisy, too soft very blurry. Now if you look at the top where it says sharpen model, it says select the model that best addresses the specific type of blur in your photo. So suppose if your photo has motion blur, you need to choose motion blur from here. And depending on how much motion blur there is inside the photo, you may need to choose normal, very blurry, etc. Anyway, you can also click this automatic button, which will automatically use recommended model for the opened image. But I like to choose the model myself because I know better what's inside the image, if it has motion blur or out of focus or noise, etc. So in this case, I have out of focus normal, which has already sharpened this image amazingly using the AI technology. And so let's compare both the images inside Adobe Photoshop, which is better. So now I will save this image and we will compare all the images and from all the methods we have tried in Adobe Photoshop and within Topaz Sharpen AI software as well. I have opened all the images we have processed so far. You have to decide which looks best. So here's the original image, and this is the unsharp mask one. This is smart sharpen filter applied. This is camera raw filter applied. This is high pass filter applied, and this is from Topaz Sharpen AI. So you are the judge, and make sure you subscribe to Odash if this video helped you deciding which method is best when it comes to sharpening out of focus and motion blur images.